Namaskar, everybody. Yeah, it's quite true that we are all going through the same, uh, you know, uh, rainy day, rainy weather, and I had to choose a place where there'll be a little bit less of noise of rain. Right now, it's raining very hard in Pondi, actually. Okay,
Namaskar.
namaskar. Uh, yeah, as Shivji had introduced me, today I'm going to speak about how to handle, control, how to deal with anger, because as I was telling him that a few ladies from Calcutta, they actually requested me saying that unfortunately we fall into this habit of getting, terrible reactions of anger, becoming very kind of can't control. Uh, and react in a manner that we lose relationship with our friends, even among our family people. So, Didi, is it possible for you to say something about anger? So I said, finally, I said, it's all right, because it is important, as just now Shivji was saying, that anger management, we must know anger and terrible irritation, getting upset, it can cause not only problem to oneself and others around, but also it can cause illnesses, as a matter of fact. So we want to know what Mother and Sri Aurobindo, how they have told us to deal with it. And as I always say, that whatever I speak, it is always from the perspective of those who have taken a spiritual turn in their life, a spiritual path in their life to walk on. I know, because we are all in the very same family, that it's not easy, uh, but at the same time, we have to make full effort. And like for ordinary people, it's quite okay if they get angry, they come out of anger, and everything is kind of, they are happy. Sometimes I feel perhaps it's good to be like that, in the sense that, things don't bother them much and they go on with life. But with us who have taken to a spiritual path, spiritual line of living, way of living, for us, everything, as the mother says, becomes a point of analysis, observation, looking within, and why not to react, how not to react, why we have reacted, why I could not keep my poise at that time. All of these things become very important. So, a little bit, I would speak about what anger is, and then the causes of anger, and then what they say about how to deal as such with anger. Uh, Anger is a negative emotion, as we all know, and it seems it is visible in human beings since we are very little, very small babies also. They also have their reactions. And therefore, it needs definitely proper control, redirection, channelization of those emotions that get out of control. And it can be certainly done through education. Uh, Not can be done, it should be done. It has to be the teachers and parents, they own a very important responsibility to teach their children. I mean, I have been a teacher all my life, as to why we should not uh, allow ourselves to get flown away, to get blown away in such emotions which can be very dangerous. It's known to be, anger is known to be a very dangerous and a dreadful emotion, as a matter of fact. And if we cannot control this, it can destroy all our happiness, joy of life, either in an individual or in a family or a group. And as we have seen and known that anger is always followed by a feeling of bitterness, uh, and it disturbs very badly the equilibrium, equanimity of the person. The person might have been, very balanced, but when the moment he becomes angry or is not able to control his anger, things become very, very different, rather almost opposite. His outer harmony is completely lost, including the inner harmony. So, since a psychological arousal of anger causes disharmony, also in the nervous system, in our nervous system, this we understand how when people get angry, it has happened just today. Just today, somebody in Aurobindo is going through a bad phase, bad period, and she gets very quickly, very angry, and then the BP rises, and unfortunately something happens in her brain. Of course, it's a problem. It's a physical problem, and she loses control and becomes unconscious. So there was today it is raining very much, and she wanted to come down for something, and she was being requested not to come down today. And she got so angry that the other person had to, because she might get into a fit of unconsciousness or that kind of an uncontrollable situation. So she had to allow her, and so on and so forth. So what I mean is that heartbeat increases, BP rises, etc., etc. So, kind of it arouses these kind of effects in the body or impacts in the body. So it basically means great annoyance and antagonism as a result of some real or supposed. Psychologically, it is said real or supposed. Because I have seen when I used to be headmistress of high schools, I used to see there were teachers who used to have suppositions. No, Didi, this person thinks like this about me, therefore I have had to take. I said, I know that person. She has spoken to me. No, she has never spoken about you in this manner. She has nothing against you at all. No, she has. So these are absolutely supposed or imagined, how do you say, supposed or sometimes real, of course, no doubt, complaints or grievances, whatever it is, but not always real also. That's exactly what Mother also says many times, that we suffer because we have in our mind looked or understood the behavior of another person in this category, in this manner. We have classified it and we think we are right, and that's how the reactions grow. So we have to be very, very careful about many things. There are many symptoms of anger, like displeasure, hostility, indignation, irritability, outrage of passion, resentment, wrath. Everything is absolutely negative. And whenever I have heard in my life also, because anger is something, it belongs to you, me, and every one of us, absolutely. Whether we express it the way everybody expresses it the way they are. But we cannot say that Deepshikha is known in the ashram to be a very gentle person. She speaks very lovingly. She's very motherly, whatever it is, because of my age or whatever. But even otherwise, when I was young. But that does not go to say that Deepshikha doesn't get angry. Of course, emotion of anger, whether expressed or not expressed, we have it. And the moment we have it within ourselves, we have to know that we have to deal with it. Absolutely. Anger is called krodh in Sanskrit. In Gita, there is a very, very beautiful shlok. I'll not read the shlok in Sanskrit, but in general, very quickly, I will just say what Lord Krishna says. And I think it's one of the most beautiful, I suppose, explanations of these particular emotions, you know. So Lord Krishna says that once we get attached, desires arise. Okay? And when those desires remain unfulfilled, then we become angry. From anger comes infatuation. Okay? And from infatuation comes the confusion of memory. And when memory is lost, at the same time, reason is also lost. And when reason is lost, one is completely destroyed and ruined. These are the consequences of anger. When a person loses his wisdom, knowledge, common sense, and also the presence of mind, he behaves almost like a lunatic, a mad person. Psychologists say that anger is a reaction, an irritation or annoyance that arises when one feels hurt, the causes. I'm talking about the causes now. Insulted or uneasy with someone. Now it's a kind of frustration at not getting getting what one wants. It's a reaction caused by one's own frustration or displeasure, which is in turn very harmful for the person for sure, but it is also for all those who are with him. The moment you get angry and burst out, reacting badly or in an uncivilized manner, you bring yourself down to a lower level. Just now, Shivji was saying anger belongs to lower vital. That's absolutely true. So it belongs to our lower nature. Okay. According to Aurobindo, a human being is composed of 5 distinct parts, we all know: physical, vital, mental, spiritual, and psychic, right? And each of these planes, they have their own characteristics that also we know, because many times you people are doing every week satsang, so you know many things more than many others, because you have a continuation of satsang, which is absolutely wonderful. So we also know that we have an outer being. What is the outer being? Which is the physical, mental, and vital. And spiritual and psychic, they are our inner being. And of course, innermost is the soul, the psychic, the innermost being. And there is a constant interconnection, connectivity is there, interacting action is there between practically all these levels, right? But then among our mind, body and physical, mind is predominance of mind over body, and our emotions are always there. As you all know, that we are basically primarily mental people, and we think with our mind, we live with our mind. We live in the sense that whatever we say to the body does. We all know that, isn't it? And mind's instructions can be sometimes very severe, very unbalanced, because mind is being guided by, if it is not trained, then it is being guided by also its lower emotions. And it is also vital is what? in our heart, whatever is there, that is also affected, or that is also very much attaching itself with the mind. So mind finally is the decider. And the body is a very obedient instrument, no doubt about it. But body is basically weak because it's coming from the subconscious, not inconscient, sorry, subconscious. And basically it is a little weak, but it is extremely obedient, and it has a different consciousness and a poise of its own, and it can do wonders. There's no doubt about it. We all know about it. But unfortunately, body doesn't have a strong, there is physical vital, I'll come to that actually. Mental vital, physical vital, vital, all of these things, and make a mention of it. But unfortunately, when we do not train our consciousness properly, then mind, because it dominates, therefore the body gets, and because what the body wants to say is not heard, neither by our emotions nor by the mind. So it gets headaches, it feels unwell, it gets fever, very unfortunate, because body is not as much given importance by us as a man. The vital is the life force or prana, as we all know. From it arise desires and the reactions of desires, the origin of anger, fear, greed, lust, and all emotional movements. The mental part is where we think and analyze, where intelligence, ideas, thoughts, and their reactions arise. The vital also has many subdivisions, right? Just as we have physical vital, physical mental, and so on. Then there is mental vital, emotional vital, central vital, lower vital, and higher vital, etc. Right? And what is basically the vital, which is that contains everything, all the emotions like desires, passions, sensations, joy, love, hatred, sorrow, everything, absolutely, all these stronger movements. You see, it has. And fear, pride, desire, everything. Anger is also expressed from here. Nothing is born here. I'll make it clear when Sri Aurobindo says regarding the handling of anger. Our daily life, for lower vital, basically, daily life, in that we have quarrels, fights, food preferences, and all those things, likes and dislikes. That's also a part of the lower vital, as a matter of fact, right? So, if we do not have balance between the inner and the outer being, then unfortunately we do not have a life of joy and happiness. Disturbances keep on coming, and that obstructs the growth of consciousness, because we know in spiritual life that we have taken, Mother says one of the most important things that you have to care about is the progress that you are making. So growth of consciousness is the progress, right? And anger is one such disturbance belonging to the lower nature that obstructs the growth of consciousness. Now, if we give expression to anger, that's what Mother and Sri Aurobindo both say, which is by shouting, hitting, or speaking a bad language, howling, whatever it is, and we are not conscious of it, then it comes back to us again. And if we make a habit of it, this kind of an expression we give to our anger, our reactions, whatever, then Mother says that it becomes more and more difficult to control. So in our way of life that we are leading, we have to, as we all know, that we have to be very conscious. So every time these kinds of emotions attack us, we have to be very conscious, and we have to immediately, supposed to be going within and controlling ourselves. That is the best way, actually. Now, the most important thing that we have to know is that Sri Aurobindo says that these movements, they come from fear, anger, all these, for that matter, greed, everything, all these lower vital emotions, jealousy. These movements, they come from outside of us. That means within us, we don't have these. God has not made us or created us so bad. He's not a bad guy as such, as we know. But unfortunately, he has created us little incapacitated because we do not understand what we are absorbing, as the mother says. Around us, there are many invisible forces, many, of which there are many good ones and there are many not so good ones. And there are also some very dangerous ones, no doubt about it. So we have to make our vessel, we have to make our body, mind, and life, this trio, be very conscious to know what kind of energy I am absorbing and what kind of energy I am emitting out, actually. So he says that these movements, they come from outside, from the universal lower nature. There is an universal lower plane, there is an universal higher nature also. We get, you see, musicians. Musicians get people like A.R. Rahman, great musicians, They get things from the higher musical worlds. So we have got very wonderful, when you get wonderful visions or wonderful dreams, that means you connect yourself with those aspects of universal nature or the subliminal, which you are able to receive from there. Just like that, from the lower universal nature, Sri Aurobindo says that we receive anger. Okay. So there is universal higher nature, lower nature, subliminal, and then of course the other planes, subconscious, unconscious, etc., etc. So we have talked about anger. It comes from where? Thrown or suggested to us by adverse forces, Sri Aurobindo says. What are the adverse forces? We all know. And these adverse forces are those which are opposed to our inner and spiritual growth, inner and spiritual progress. Okay? When we move towards love, harmony, happiness, and the divine, the divinity, then these adverse forces try to pull us away from there. Now, Sri Aurobindo says that now once you understand that you do not have anger within you, you are absorbing anger. Anger is coming inside you. Anger is a lower vital emotion which wants to come inside you to disturb you, to disrupt your being. If you are doing something higher, better, nobler, more generous, something you want to meditate, you want to concentrate, you want to calm yourself, quieten yourself so that the divinity can enter us. It is at that time it will do something and then suddenly everything changes. So it is then that we have to be very conscious. So he says that never think that I am angry. Never say that person makes me angry. Never say the presence of this thing, it upsets me. No. Don't do that, because the moment you do that, it's waiting on your wings to jump into you. Don't own it. That makes me angry, or I am angry. I get angry whenever this kind of things happen. I don't like these things. Never say that. That means we are inviting anger. Mother says that these forces are all around us in a manner. The moment you have taken a decision to walk the path of the divine, they are there, absolutely there, to attack us so that we do not walk that path. That's many, many times. So they always say, and Mother says that these forces, they know your mind. Where is it that you are weak? Where is it that you are attached? Where is it that your desire is leading you to? They are so intelligent, Mother says, that they know when to enter and how to enter, how to convince us. So these are, they're writing about universal vital worlds. Imagine that. What's the meaning of world? You know? So we have to understand, she says, the half the problem will get solved once you understand that you are not owning. Sri Aurobindo, so many times he is saying, don't react and don't own it. The moment you, and Mother says that when you have understood that you are not going to own anger, half your problem is over. Because the most of the problems come because we own, we think that we are not. No. We have to become conscious. It's only then we can reject it. And they say that many times we human beings think that we have a right to be angry. This person is wrong. In the meeting, I should have said what I did. That's not the way. We have a right to be angry because the other person is wrong, or the argument that the other person is making is unjust. It's making me angry. They say no. The truth is that anger is an external force. Whether we accept it or reject it, it only depends on us. And what they are trying to teach us is individually. If individually one of us also can become better, we can make other 10 people better. Come out of the web or network of these lower vital expressions, as a matter of fact, So what they are saying is that the truth is that anger is an external force, whether we accept it or we reject it. We have to first know that, and then slowly we have to become conscious of it. If we are conscious, at the moment, just the moment it enters, then we can reject it. We won't let it enter at all. You see? Now, on the spiritual path, we must clearly understand, Mother makes it very clear, what is yours and what is not yours. What belongs to you and what does not belong to you. She says, make things very, very clear. In this path, when I'm walking, whether this can be my accompaniment, this can be my company. No, this cannot be. Desire cannot be my company. So we have to see how to deal with it. Of course, we do not believe in asceticism. We have to live in this world and we have to know how to live. The easiest thing is what these sannyasins used to do in a way, in the sense that, well, I have nothing much to do with the world, so I go away. Whether we go to forest or we go anywhere else or to the mountains, Himalayas, it doesn't matter. But here we have to live, we have to take care of our children, we have to take care of all our material things around us, our house, our furnitures, our ornaments, our clothes, our cars, everything. But how to be detached from all that, but take full care. Even knowing, she has said, no, that material things have consciousness and you must know how to deal with them. Beautiful, really absolutely wonderful. So in our yoga, things are in a way easy because we have to offer things to the mother, we speak to the mother, do this for me, do that for me. But then when it comes to tapasya and training oneself, then I don't think it is easy, because nothing is easy. To be conscious at every moment, she talks about analyze your thoughts, analyze each emotion that comes into you. to bring ourselves to that, it takes a long time. So nothing is easy, but yeah, what is very, very good is that we have a tremendous grace over us, tremendous grace, which, you know, every time we go a little out, it brings us back. It brings us back. That grace is there. We should be always grateful about, you know. So, one of the first things is that we must never confirm the habit of being angry. If we have become angry, if we have been angry, we must immediately feel sorry about it, that no, I know I should not have done this, I shouldn't have become, but then this has happened like this. It's okay, I'll be conscious, I'll try to be a little more conscious. So that kind of thing. So that is one thing. And as the mother says here, that we should refuse all expression. That's very important. And when we recognize anger as not our own, then we get the power. We get the power, she says. That power we get through our will. We talk about willpower, no? She says we get the power through our will, our determination, our aspiration, constant, which is like a constant prayer, like a japa within that, no, Baba, this is a very big weakness in me. I must get rid of it. You know, that will, that aspiration, that gains strength, Mother says, to refuse anger, to send away anger. And all this is possible when we understand that it doesn't belong to us. And then Mother says that each episode of anger, it then after that, after this being conscious, it gives us the opportunity to strengthen that will within us. And she says that once you have gained success in bringing the will in front to push away the anger that was coming within you or that was coming to drive you mad or whatever it is, she says that once you get the experience of it, it becomes a part of your mental experience, emotional experience, physical experience, because anger has got its repercussion within us through the physical, isn't it? So she says that you become confident that yes, you can do it. And then almost we say to ourselves, okay, fine, come, we'll see, we'll combat you. I'll fight with you, you come, I'll see. Now I'm ready with all my equipment, with all my armaments, you come. She says each episode strengthens your will. And of course, it belongs to the, she keeps on saying it belongs to the vengeance and anger, both belongs to the lower humanity. She says the humanity of the past. She says the humanity of tomorrow should not have these instincts of anger, violence, agitation, crude reaction, should not have. Because the humanity, the civilization is progressing with science, technology. Human life has changed and it is advancing materially and it is evolving inwardly, isn't it? So that's why she is saying that anger is an obstruction to this progress. That's why we must never entertain it. Once a visitor asked the mother as to what attitude we should take towards war. I felt this question is good because these days we do not have a world war, but we have war in most of the countries of the world. What kind of a time we are going through? Because of course I can say that because I've lived a life. Next month I might have told you maybe in our previous talks also that I am turning 80. So 80 years of living upon this earth, uh, you feel bad that I've never seen 1945. It's okay. That was I was just born in December, but World War almost had ended, and India became free in 1947. Right? Since then, some of these wars, these Pakistan wars, this, that, and all, with China, one war we saw when we were in Delhi. But the kind of wars that we see now, more than a lakh of people dying in Palestine, Ukraine is destroyed in front of our eyes on the TV. I can't believe that we live in 21st century. I mean, and then Middle East, this Sudan, and this, that, and everywhere. I mean, it's this kind of a world I had never known. Of course, there must be a reason and God must be looking after it. I'm not saying that. But this mother was just now talking about this. I was taking, I'm not reading much because time is so little. Her words are so beautiful. Anyway, so she says that the question is what? What attitude to take towards wars? So she replied that psychologically one must keep a quiet and unshakable faith in the divine. When situations are beyond human control and one feels powerless, one must have complete faith that the divine will handle everything and that all that happens has a reason and a purpose. So I know there is a reason and a purpose. But when I see, Russia sending so many drones and so many people die and all those things, we don't understand the reason and purpose of the future world. And that's going to be the supramental world, after a point of time. But when Mother says that when things are beyond your control, you cannot reason things out. When you see so many people dying out of tsunami or earthquake, you just have complete faith, are beyond human control, she says, isn't it? Bhagavan Buddha, he says that anger will never disappear as long as thoughts of resentment are cherished. Now, this is the sadhana part of it. Resentment towards things or persons keep anger alive. Most people carry preferences. Mother has talked very much about preferences. We like this, we don't like this. We like that person, we don't like this person. I like this food, I don't like this food. I like this place, I don't like this place. It's in our nature, Or persons keeps anger alive. Most people carry preferences, desires, and expectations that clash with others, causing conflict. This I'm talking about Lord Buddha. When such situations arise, the person loses control and becomes angry. That is the main cause of anger, he says. And as I told you, Mother says that it's a violent reaction of the vital to an unpleasant shock. When thoughts or words are involved, the mind also reacts violently. Any expression of anger shows a lack of self-control. Now, self-control is one of the very important things, very important factor in this line of sadhana for a spiritual life. Self-control is one of the most important things. That is the reason why Mother says that you keep analyzing your thoughts and emotions. What happens is that we keep justifying ourselves and we keep giving preference to our vital, mostly our vital, also mental. Mental preferences are very strong. Ambitions, what is ambition? So, she says, be very, very careful. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will never have self-control, never grow into a self-control. The moment you understand, when you are conscious that this is not right, immediately control yourself. Now, how to control? There are some points. I will, what's the time? Another 10 minutes. Because the vital, she says, seeking pleasure in its own movements, it dominates the being like a vital and mental both dictator and cannot tolerate opposition at all. And therefore, this kind of violence happens within us. And then she says, without self-control, if we do not analyze, if we do not classify, if we do not, how to say, try to understand the problem right from its root. She always says about that, from the source. She uses the word source. Go back to source. Why is this happening every time with you? Unless and until you are able to deal with it, it's a darkness, it's a dark force, or it's a dark area within us. She says, you will not have self-control. Control is when we are able to recognize, understand, be conscious, and then deal with it. And deal with it in a manner, it's very interesting, because she says vital goes on strikes. So you have to deal with it by training the vital, by explaining to the vital, no, Deepshikha, this is not right. You have no right to do that. You have no right to think about that person like that. Okay, maybe he's wrong, but let him be whatever he is. Doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with you. He has insulted you. It's okay. Everybody is different. He has insulted you. He's not so civilized. Anybody insulting anybody means that the person is not a refined person. We know, isn't it? It's hurting you because you would not do that kind of a thing. So then have pity, pray for him, but don't react and don't think of taking a revenge. That's also equally uncivilized. So we have to keep on talking to the vital and make, that's what is called vital training. Each and every thing, we have to see that things are happening properly. We are gaining control over our emotions. We are gaining control over situations. And we are able to make 1 inch of progress instead of regress. So then she says that another thing she talks about is that we also get vibrations of anger from our surroundings. That's because everybody is carrying anger. That is the reason. So she says that it exists in the atmosphere, and it overtakes us. It can suddenly, then she says, mother says, anger can suddenly enter from below and then it rises upwards. It overtakes us, even when we had no intention of losing temper. We had no intention, but it overtakes us. And she says that this happens because it exists in the atmosphere. When people carry resentment, complaints, displeasure, or unease, we can unconsciously absorb it. You see? Well, it's okay. I will quickly go through the means that she speaks about. She says that it's like a coiled serpent, waiting for the right moment to flare up. So then, small incidents, they make you angry. I have written things like, things happen like you people are in a big city, Pondi is a small place, but then we also have the very same problems, everyday, daily life challenges like traffic jams, car failures, absent, maids absent, power cuts, water shortage, all kinds of things that keep happening, and it can really disturb us. But then, how not to become angry? quickly, I'll just go through a few points. Um, One thing Mother has said, one has to lead a very conscious life and full of awareness, in which we must be very alert, very vigilant, and very aware of the movement of anger the moment it enters it. We have to learn to refuse it or reject it, okay? We must observe how slowly we are being affected or agitated because of whatever is happening. Then we need the power to refuse its admission into us. We do not admit it, as the mother says. Okay, we do not let it come in. Because slowly, as we become conscious, my friends, uh, in spirituality, one thing is to feel things. I know I'm becoming heated up. I'm getting angry. I'm getting this kind of idea. No, I better try to calm myself. Everybody has their own method of calming oneself, right? Whether through meditation or concentration or japa or a prayer, a repetition of a prayer or whatever it is, isn't it? And that works. That's a different kind of a thing. But then, once we know that it is coming from outside, but then Sri Aurobindo says, then slowly you gain the power when we are on this line of training ourselves in sadhana. One is feeling and one is seeing. As Mother says, no, that we can see thoughts coming in. It's not only a feeling that I'm getting these thoughts. No, not like, we can see the thoughts. So we can see anger coming in. You know, that, how to say that, these things are things of experience. You know, if one does not experience, once one has a glimpse of experience, then one will understand what I'm saying. What Sri Aurobindo Mother said is coming from outside, we can understand that it's coming from outside, you know. And then it becomes easy for us to refuse its admission. Mother says one of the other reasons is that because we do not know about our true being. And what is the true being? True being is the psychic being, isn't it? So she says that one of the major reasons for becoming angry is because we do not know anything about us true being. So we are doing this sadhana to know things higher and deeper, to know God, to feel the presence of the divine within us, all of it, isn't it? We do not want to live only in our outer being, isn't it? Ordinary consciousness. No, we want to learn to go deeper within us, you know. So she says that when we try to go within, then slowly we become more conscious and all. But one of the major reasons is we get so angry and cannot handle ourselves is because we do not know our psychic being. And you know, you are having this satsang every Saturday. What is this? This is, Mother says, this is to know the true being. It's to know the true being. That's the satsang, or our prayers, or our aspirations, or our meditations, or our remembering and offering each of our works, everything. Mother says, na, you remember the divine before the work, and during, you will not remember because you are busy doing the work. It's okay, that's fine. If you remember, then once thank the divine in the middle also. But you must remember the divine at the end of it. She says that you human beings are very ungrateful. I do so much for you, and then you forget me. At the end, you never thank me. So many times she has said, poor thing, she used to say, gratitude is a virtue that human beings do not have. Okay, then it becomes easy for the innermost being to give us the power to refuse what's wrong and live in peace and bliss. Okay, to sum up the causes of anger, number one is our own desires and expectations. Number two, lack of self-control. Number three, lack of self-knowledge. And number 4, lack of faith in the divine, as the mother says. Okay. A little more. We should never accept it, and we should train ourselves slowly. Mother says, do not think about the past, how you were, what you used to be. No, that hinders. You must think of the divine and you must think of the future, what you have to be, how you have to shape yourself. That's what it is. And she says, if I have a mistake, it is quite all right. Now I must surrender to the divine. She says, say that. I must surrender to God. I must surrender to divine. Then he will make things that. And then she says, that's the only way you can repair your mistake. There's no other way. Okay. Holding his hand. Then the next point is through self-observation, being conscious, the strong determination, and a very strong will. Okay. Then she says we must constantly call for the intervention of the divine. Slowly our patience and observations will bring a change from within us, and we can then, mother says, you can see the result yourself. Then what is it? Okay. One of the very important thing, we will not go into detail. You all know about it. I think I have also spoken about it. Is she always talks about stepping back. The moment how can we understand that this is a wrong emotion unless and until we step back within us? So she says, one of the very important remedy is by stepping back. And once we go within ourselves, then we are guided by basically the psychic. Now, we may not have been able to go near the psychic, but the inner mind itself, the inner vital itself, the inner physical itself are much, much purer than the outer one because they are being influenced by the subliminal, isn't it? So, she says that step back, number 1. Okay. Number 2 is that self-purification. And self-purification comes through meditation, japa, and prayers. Okay, which is basically opening to the divine. Now, you all know about it, so I don't need to go into detail about it. I wrote all these points also, not for you people are pretty advanced, for the Calcutta group of young ladies, so I wrote in detail. So I talked a little bit about the stepping back, but I'll talk to them about the technique. I don't need to talk to you, you know it. And then she also speaks about, of course, resist all temptations. That's a part of our spiritual line of living. Then positive thinking and positive feeling and positive vibrations they give. So this, and then self-observation, of course. Without self-observation, no yoga sadhana is possible, isn't it? And then, in olden days in the ashram, there used to be self-reflective journals. Mother used to tell, no, I was not there at that time, that I'm talking about 50s mainly, after Aurobindo passed away, maybe in 40s also. So they used to tell the sadhaks to write a journal every day, and the journal used to go to them, and then they used to guide them. So self-reflective journals, many people, when I was young, when I came in late 50s, they used to tell me, these are the things we used to do, and I have myself seen that it's very, very useful, very beneficial. So there, at one point, mother talking about self-reflective journal. So she says it's like a progress report book. Like children's progress report happens, no? Like that in the school. And then she talks about self-purification. Maybe I've talked about it. Meditation, japa, and opening to the divine, etc. And about japa, mother used to herself do japa. You all know, isn't it? Towards the end of her life, very, very much. And the efficacy of japa, that we know because we are all Indians and from ancient times, we have been doing japa. So these are the basic. Um, you see, friends, I do consider it's a very important topic because when I was very young, in my teens in Delhi, we used to live in Sarojini Nagar. There used to be 2-room tenements, with a kitchen and a veranda, and this thing, one smaller room and one big room. And some people used to give rent one room. So just like that, one family had given one room for rent, and the man on rent, his work was what kind of work, what type of work, I don't know. I was very young, I was going to school. He used to come late in the night. And I don't know, his wife opened the door or the door had to be, I don't know what was it, but the owner was a Sardaji. And one night we heard the man came, and of course I didn't hear, but my parents did, that he was killed. He was killed in the sense that he was shot dead. So the shooting sound came. And I was very young. And I knew those who were as rented people. And they were very simple. Most of them were Punjabis. They were South Indians. Radhakrishnan was the president and all that. And there were many South Indians were there. But, when you are in your teens, if you see this kind of an incident, it remains in your heart like a stamp. And you never forget it. And that man lost his life, and I saw his wife. I mean, I can never forget that. And it is from that time that I thought that anger is something that can make us absolutely a beast, completely, as in Gita says, you behave like a lunatic. Smriti Bhramsham, you see? So you forget who you are. So from then on, but it's so difficult to control anger and no suppression. So we cannot suppress it, we cannot express it. So it has to be dealt only yogically, as Mother and Aurobindo say, or Gita says. So my dear friends, I also think that it's a very, very important subject to practice so that we can live our life in right poise, in the right manner that Mother wants us to live in. I'm sorry, I've maybe taken a little more time. Namaskar.